Good evening. Thank you for coming to join me again. I'm out in the garden once more, um, in a gateway that some of you will recognise. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been challenged to do something on Facebook, but almost 2 weeks ago, I was challenged by a friend, thank you, Tim, to post a black and white photo every night for a week. Well, this I did, and at the end of the week, I discovered that I was actually rather enjoying myself, and so I carried on. It's been rather good fun, actually, looking out for pictures to take that I think will look good in black and white, as well as the colour that they were obviously taken in. Digital photography is a truly wonderful thing. Anyway, last night, the picture that I took and posted was of the gateway that you can see behind me. It's a gateway in the garden, and it is rather a nice one, I have to admit. And taking that photo started me thinking about gateways and doorways and thresholds and what we might call liminal spaces. I don't know if that's a phrase that you've come across before, but have you ever done that thing where you're walking past a room and maybe somebody inside it calls out to you or something, and you find that you are standing in the doorway, maybe leaning on the door frame, and you're talking to someone inside that room? That's a liminal space. You haven't quite decided whether you're going to go into the room and sit down and have the conversation properly, or whether you're going to walk away and carry on with whatever it was that you were doing as you passed by the doorway. You have a choice to make. Which are you going to do? That's a liminal space, somewhere where you're not really in one place or the other, but you have a choice to make about which way you go. I have a feeling that the world at the moment is in a liminal space. There have been surveys that I've read about online, and I don't know who was surveyed or who they were done by, but they seem to suggest that a large number of people don't want us to go back to life exactly the way it was before COVID-19 arrived on the scene. It suggests that there are things in this current situation that people would like to hang on to, ways in which they don't want to go back to life as it was before, and think that maybe there are things that we can take from this into the future that will make life and the world a better place. So, thinking about that and thinking about some conversations that I've had with other people in the last few days, I wonder if there are things that you can think of that are part of the current situation that you wouldn't want to lose. There are things that we see happening in nature. I've talked about this before. Seas that are clear in places where they haven't been clear for years. Lack of air pollution because the aeroplanes are not flying. Lack of pollution in cities because the traffic just isn't there anymore. The way that in many places communities are pulling together, new communities are forming, and people are just being there for one another. Perhaps there are things in this liminal space that we can identify as being ways in which we would like the world to change. So I'd like to finish off this evening with, well, it's kind of a prayer and it's kind of a poem. It's from a book called If Darwin Prayed. It's a great book. Apologies for some of the slightly non-English language in it, if you like. Some of the references to wildlife reflect the fact that it's a Canadian book. But at the end, if you'd like to make this poem prayer your prayer, then feel free to message or say an Amen, remembering that Amen means I agree. So this is a prayer poem called Living Earth's Wisdom. If we tune our ears to the wisdom of Earth, it is deep prayer, this listening to her cries as spirit sighs too deep for words. Unborn generations call to us from the future. What did you do when the planet could no longer bear your foolishness and began to break? The growl of the grizzly caught in the crosshairs of trophy hunters and policymakers who seem to prize extinction is a plea for the rights of all the disappearing ones. Hear the bawl of the caribou, asking us for room enough to roam and arsenic-free water to drink. The cardinal's whistle, once joy's message, is now a haunting lament for the dwindling chorus of songbirds. The topsoil, living organism and not lowly dirt, clears its thinning, chemical-burned voice and speaks out for the biotic kingdom teeming within this dark body. Mother Ocean beckons us to return to her womb, that we might be born anew and know our salty tears to be her own. The willow drops her loving arms around our shoulders and brushes us with grace, whispering that it's not too late. It falls to us, wisdom's pupils, to turn this dirge into a dance of the cosmos. Let those with ears to hear rise up. Amen. So, maybe just a thought to take into the rest of today. What are the things that the world, its people, its animals, plants, all of creation, what are the things that they are saying to us? Hold on to this. Don't go back to what you have before. Move on into something that's maybe just a little bit more like the world that God wanted us to have. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow, I hope. Bye for now.